Boom! Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Let's see how someone squanders the opportunity to live 1,000 lives. The book opens on this past tense version of Nora Seed. Nora Seed? Really? It's wild how the brain can freeze frame a moment in time. You've got, the older generation might remember the JFK assassination. For my generation, it might be 9/11. And for you under 25 crowd, it might be remembering when Beyonce went country. That's what this opening scene is for Nora. She's playing chess, age 17, in high school with her teacher, Mrs. Elm. Then bam, her world fractures. Nora remembers that scene so vividly because it's the moment she finds out that her dad had died. So why is Nora reflecting like this? Well, her cat just died. And listen, if you want me to mourn a fictional cat, you better be at least starting with Crookshank's levels of emotional attachment. And it's not just that. She lost her job, her piano student bailed, so much for the side hustle empire. And for real, this girl is in just the rut of all ruts. So what do you do when you got the blues? You look around to see if other people got the blues too. Her ex seems fine, her brother's distant, and even her old band has moved on without her. And this turns dark fast. Her spiral goes full Jimi Hendrix experience, and it's a moment where you as the reader are thinking to yourself, wait, am I in like a purple haze? Because how did we get here this fast? We'll circle back to this later, but here's the thing. Matt Haig's audience doesn't remind me of this bleak, dark realism type audience. It's more like whimsical teens, maybe book club readers. So it makes sense that he doesn't dive all the way into what depression really is or what it can do. He gives us just enough to recognize the feeling without dragging us all the way in. Now guys, Nora wakes up in what most of us in the community would consider pretty much an ideal dream world. Books everywhere, a library all for us. I mean, sure, the lighting and ambiance could use a little bit of upgrade. I mean, maybe you can feel the dampness and darkness around you, but it's nothing a few extra candles or a dehumidifier can't fix. And then it gets freaky because she's face to face with her old librarian, Mrs. Elm. And at least Mrs. Elm keeps it real. You ain't dead. You ain't alive. You, my friend, are in limbo. But hey, at least it's not Dante's version. And here's where things go from spooky to absolutely mind-blowing. Nora's in this vast cosmic library where every green book on the shelf between the spines has every possible life she could have lived. Every choice, every what if, spun into its own reality, and she can try them on like outfits at a metaphysical thrift store. And if she finds one she likes, she can stay. What? This is one of the coolest literary concepts I've ever read. 9-year-old me down the Jersey Shore at the taffy shop, trying to pick flavors, same energy. The limit does not exist. But there's a catch. She has to keep it together emotionally. If her mind spirals, the library collapses, and then purgatory becomes no morgatory. And with the possibility, you'd think she'd be thrilled, through the roof, unable to contain the excitement. But Nora, she's not jazzed. She's overwhelmed, numb, and depressed. And then boom, Mrs. Elm drops the Book of Regrets in front of her. Now this thing is brutal. Every single regret Nora's ever had, every choice she didn't make, every life she didn't live, cataloged and served cold. And yeah, I'm glad I don't have a physical copy of mine because that thing would flatten me too. Trading my holographic Blastoise for a Butterfree, not betting everything I owned on the Giants to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl twice. Wearing cargo shorts way too deep into the 21st century. Telling my college roommates they were wasting electricity mining Bitcoin. Regret is heavy, and Haig makes that literal. Nora can't even lift the book at first. It's like watching Ariana Grande try her hand at Olympic deadlifting. Now, if I haven't made it clear, this setup, I was locked in. Despite the sort of surface level character work leading up to this, Nora wasn't exactly radiating complexity. I was still hyped. Like full on Back to the Future meets choose your own adventure hype. I was ready for wild lives, winning lottery numbers, alternate lives where she rides dragons or wins a Grammy or whatever. I didn't care. I was in. The concept was that strong. But then what actually followed, it wasn't bad, it was just frustrating. It's what separates a good work from a great one, or even a masterpiece. Because what I wanted out of this book, what I felt like I was promised, just fell a little bit short. And I'll dive more into the why. But first, the lives lived went a little like this. Not Santa's workshop, just Nora watching ice melt. Turns out being an environmental slushy expert doesn't stop your best friend from dying on another continent. Owning a bar sounds fun until you remember that Always Sunny is just satire. Unless you're Frank and Charlie, it's just bad lighting and slow rot. Marrying a surgeon sounds dreamy until you realize it's less Grey's Anatomy and more Married to the Routine. Nice house, nice man, zero pulse. Gold medals, swimmer shoulders, still lonelier than Michael Phelps' post-Olympic career. World tours, hit songs. Spoiler, fame does not fix fractured siblings. And we already made one Jimi Hendrix reference today. Animal shelter life is saintly in theory, but 2 a.m. litter box changes in practice. Nora's not built for a life coughing up fur balls. Famous philosopher, sells out theaters, drops throw quotes like confetti, but she's still emptier than a Halloween pillowcase before trick-or-treating. Swapped beer for Bordeaux, vineyard life in Cali. Shoulda tried Italy, at least there the sadness would come with better bread. 6 cats, no friends, 1 scented candle fighting for its life. No, not the cartoon, just Nora channeling her inner Jim Carrey from Yes Man. Spoiler, FOMO is better than RSVPing no to your father's funeral. She did. Undo, undo, undo. Thought polar bears were Coca-Cola cute? Think again. Run faster. Feels like she ended up in a wholesome sitcom until there's no laugh track and turns out she doesn't even know her own kid. Longer than a detour to 42 Wallaby Way and somehow less compelling than a clownfish and his friend with amnesia. So while Nora's off sampling lives like free samples at Costco, the library isn't just sitting there collecting dust. Every time she bails on a life, it's boom, back face to face with Mrs. Elm's ugly mug. I'm sorry, I actually don't know if she's ugly. It's just an expression, people. See, Mrs. Elm keeps running through the guidelines like it's a video game tutorial you cannot skip. Stay calm, don't panic, and don't overthink Root Nora. Otherwise, the library starts glitching like a scratched PS2 disc. And every time Nora pushes a boundary, Mrs. Elm hits her with the, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed" look. The Book of Regrets, oh, it's still there. And it goes from make a full team of strong men pull a hamstring to light as a feather. It's like the book is on its own Biggest Loser weight loss journey. And Mrs. Elm, she's just out there handing out fortune cookie wisdom like, you don't have to understand life, you just have to live it. Cool, Mrs. Elm could have put that on a mug and saved me the trip. And with each trial life behind her, you can feel it. We're going down, down, and sugar, we're going down swinging. As much as this is a fun experiment for the reader, it's more like a kid playing a game. Again. But Nora in this story is like the kid's parent, just going, please let this be the last time. But there's a way out, and it's clear. We all make tons of choices in life. Some are quite unconscious, like what shoe do I put on first, the left or the right? Some are a little more thoughtful, like, do I want a bagel for breakfast or a muffin? And obviously there are those that you know outright are important decisions. Do I want to be a doctor or a lawyer? You can sit here and obsess, try to imagine every outcome, every path, but you can't. And even if you could, you'd never predict every spin-off. You'd have to make a choice and move forward. Learn from it if you can. Delight from the wonder of the what if. Don't weaponize it against yourself. That's what hits the reader, and that's what hits Nora. Haig's point lands. No matter what choices you make in life, there's going to be pain, there's going to be joy, there's going to be sorrow, there's going to be happiness. You can't predict it all. You got to let it come. You got to experience it. You'll find meaning in ways you never expect. No life is perfect. So Nora rolls with her OG life, says deuces to Mrs. Elm, and when she wakes up in bed, she is violently ill. I mean, 21st birthday morning after ill. But once she chugs some liquid IV and pounds some fried food and crawls her way to recovery, she finds peace with the life she has. This book has so many elements I loved. The chance to peek into alternate realities without this over-cinematized Marvel universe thing. And Haig gives us the setup so early in the story that maybe I should have chilled out my hype meter a little bit and shouldn't have been expecting S tier. But here's the thing. This felt surface level, and I don't mean just emotionally. It felt like, skimming a lake when I wanted to do a real deep sea dive. Take depression, for example. For some readers, this will hit. But for me, it felt like depression with a safety net, like mental health with guardrails. I remember a Goodreads review that said I wanted rawness, but I got self-help fiction. And maybe that was the point. Keep it accessible, avoid alienating people, give people something to hope for. I get that, but part of me still wanted it to go there. Then there's Nora herself. It's not uncommon to have a lot of talents or skills, but usually there's some kind of thread tying them together. Like, I like to collect books. And that collecting vibe spills into collecting sports cards or Pokemon. What it doesn't do is make me good at fly fishing. Nora, she's somehow an expert at swimming, an expert in philosophy, an expert in environmental science, an expert in music, you name it, before she's even tried any of these lives. It's impressive, sure, but it's hard to relate to the main character when they're basically a perfect walking LinkedIn profile. And yes, there were a lot of lives. Too many, in my opinion. I'd have traded the quantity for more time in the more creative ones. As it is, some felt more like bullet points than fleshed out realities. I think that part of that comes from character building being sacrificed so that we could get to the good stuff faster. But the good stuff was just okay stuff. So here I am, loving the concept, wishing the execution was bolder and better, knowing full well this might be the absolute perfect read for many a reader out there. For me, it's a story I'll remember for its premise, but not for the lives lived in it. All right, Midnight Library, where are we going with you? Gonna roll with a 5.25. 5.25. Above average. Guys, again, such an awesome concept. Just such an awesome concept. Just the delivery was just not there for me. And I think a lot of people do love this book. I know a lot of people do. So maybe I'm looking for too much, and that might be my sci-fi fantasy background, just wanting more depth and more out of every character and storyline, the world building. This isn't world building. It's a little bit more of a fun, fun novel, but even with that, I just needed more out of it. But how about you? Did you enjoy this thing? Did you get some satisfaction out of it? Did it leave you falling short? Just let me know in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe. I hope to see you again soon. More videos coming your way. We got pew, 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 pew. Hope you guys had a fun time. And remember, folks, a chapter a day keeps the brain rot away. Take it easy, y'all.